Retro Kevo back again with another video. This is a sort of a bit of a catch-up video really, bits and bobs I've done, Liverpool Comic Con, a few pickups, etc. But let's start off with Liverpool Comic Con. As you saw, I got my picture of Maggie Robertson, aka Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village, and it was great fun. I had a great day there. I sort of know the protocol with these Comic Cons. I've been to maybe 4 or 5 of these now, and when you get a photo with a person like that, you just pre-book it when you buy your entrance ticket, and then you get a set time to queue up. Now, depending on who the person is, if it's someone who's really famous. Now, I'm not really into getting my picture with famous people, but you know, we'd booked to go anyway, and the moment I saw that Lady Dimitrescu was going to be there, I thought, yeah, I've got to get that photo. But yeah, so as I say, she's a voice actress, obviously, so she's not super well known, so there wasn't much of a queue. I only had to queue for about 15-20 minutes to get my photo, and I'll tell you a brief story. You only meet them for about 30 seconds or a minute or so. When it came to my turn, I walked in and she obviously clocked the t-shirt straight away, and she goes, I know why you're here. No, you know, now they're only doing their job, etc. when they do these things, but she seemed a generally nice person. She says, well, I think I'm gonna have to act really scary. And I was like, what do I do? I said to her, do I smile or do I act scared? And I think you got to act scared, she says. So that's how the photo came about. Had my photo and went on my way. But yeah, I really do enjoy Comic Cons. They're great fun. The one thing about them, I was going to put my photo down, is the sort of people you get at Comic Cons. They're all sort of, you know, nerdy, geeky type people, and they wouldn't mind me saying that. And they're always really decent. You don't see an ounce of any bother at a Comic Con. Everybody's like, excuse me, you know, don't worry buddy, you go first. It just seems to be those sort of people. So yeah, it was a great time. Now I'm going to show you some pictures now briefly. I didn't take loads of photos or videos because I'm the sort of person really, when I go to these things, I try to sort of enjoy it and take it in. I don't walk around with my phone in my hand all the time. So there's a few videos here you can see. You know, I saw the short circuit robot. Sorry, that's on portrait, but I sort of, the robot went past me with the guy controlling it, and I had to quickly get my phone out, and I didn't even think about putting it in a YouTube video. But yeah, saw the cars from some cars, Jurassic Park car, quite nice to see. Dukes of Hazzard, the General Lee, that was really smart to see that. And then there's a few photo opportunities. There's the one where you've got the phone from the Matrix. It's a little setup thing. You can see myself sitting there in that. But yeah, it was, and also you get a few vendors. The thing about Comic Cons and places like that, you get great vendors. You get people selling fantastic artwork, lighting, all sorts of bits that someone like me who's got a little bit of a retro gaming area or film area would absolutely love. So I spent a good bit of time after I've got my photo just wandering around looking at all the merchandise. I've got to know a few of the people. There's a great guy who goes to him. He does these paintings of films, Star Wars, etc. I've got one in my other room, and I got chatting to him, and you know, he's a really great guy to chat to. But yeah, it's just a great day out. We spent about 6 hours there. Liverpool itself, you know, I must admit, I forget, you know, we stayed there the night obviously because it's too far for me to go and come back in one day myself and the good lady. But nightlife was great in Liverpool. It really made me think, God, some places are still really lively. We went down the street with the Cavern in. We had a meal in a place called the Cavern restaurant, which is actually opposite the Cavern. If you know the Cavern, it's very famous where the Beatles played, etc. And that street was so lively, it was unbelievable. It was it's like being in Ibiza or something, just for this little sort of quarter of a mile of a road. People dancing. There was a guy playing a set of drums along to a song, Rhythm is a Dancer. Everybody, if you know that song, you'll know it. Great dance track, and all these people were just dancing in the street. As you know, as an older guy, it made me think, great people still out there, young people enjoying themselves. It was really great. Yeah, but that was in a sort of snapshot really, Liverpool Comic Con. It was great fun. But on to some other stuff now. Briefly on Resident Evil, I've completed all the main Resident Evil games except Resident Evil 6. So just showing a little bit of footage here just to show that I'm battling on. I'm not really a fan. I tried to play Resident Evil 6 many years ago when it first came out. I never really got on with it, but you know, sometimes I can be a bit of a completist. Not so much all the extra games, you know, Revelations and all those sort of things, and Zero, etc. But just wanted to make sure I played the main 8 before the next one comes out, which is only in a few months now. But yeah, there's a bit of footage of me playing Resident Evil 6 now. I'm still struggling with it a little bit. It's so action based, it's unbelievable. And as I'm getting older, I like the Resident Evil games where I'm milling around a bit. That's why I quite like Resident Evil 7 again, because you got time to walk around, search, look in every nook and cranny, as they say. But yeah, this one, but I'm going to battle through with it just to get to the end. But that's Resident Evil 6. That's just what I'm up to in gaming at the moment. But now to a few pickups. Now, before I leave the Comic Con stuff altogether, I love my movies. If you may have seen, I put my sort of choices, your favourite film from each decade from the 50s. I put that out yesterday, and that was really tough. Really, really tough. But the reason I mention that is I'm going to talk about a movie briefly with a pickup, because I picked up this at the Liverpool Comic Con. Iconic, as anybody who loves horror films knows, from The Exorcist. But it's a lamp, a light, but I'm just going to put it on for you because this is such an iconic picture from the film. Absolutely brilliant. And it's just a lamp, it's a light. I shall plug it in for you. I'm a bit stingy. I don't really spend loads of money when I go off out these places, but let's plug it in. And there you go. It lights up. I'm going to turn the light out just for a second because it might play a bit merry hell with the lights that I've got. So obviously you need lighting when you're doing a video, but yeah, there you go. Now I've lost a little thing. There's a little remote for it where you can change all the colours. You can change it to green, white, blue, whatever you like. And I think there's an app as well, which I'm yet to download, which apparently you can do a lot more with the light. But there you go. That's a pickup I got from the Liverpool Comic Con. Great stall. He had loads of different lights, but I think it was about £45 this. So one was enough for me, but I'm going to turn the light back on and turn it off. I was very pleased, really pleased. In The Exorcist, it didn't make my film of the decades video, but it really is a classic film. And I was really pleased with that little pickup. But now on to some gaming pickups now. I'll show a little bit of footage of these games. I think there's one game I haven't got any footage because I've only just got them. But I picked up this one. Sorry about any reflection on my glasses on the light, but I have to have my glasses, being an old git, to see sometimes. But I picked up this one, Joe Blade 2, and the reason I picked this up, I'm going to show you now, is when you're loading Joe Blade 2, you can play a bit of Pac-Man. Now, for a ZX Spectrum game, that's absolutely fantastic. And I saw it on someone else's video, and the guy was on TikTok, and I checked to see if he was on YouTube, and he wasn't, and because I would always reference somebody if I saw it in another video, but he was on TikTok, and I thought, well, I'll leave that. But yeah, and there's a little bit of gameplay as well. It's an unusual game. Anything that frustrates me about this game is you walk along and you're meant to be sort of beating up thugs, but you don't actually punch them, you just jump. It's the equivalent of kicking them in the head sort of thing. But the idea is you go around cleaning up the town. And it's got this really, I'm showing you briefly, it's got this really unusual puzzle bit. When you meet a civilian and you sort of rescue them, you've got to do this sort of puzzle where you'll see when I show you what I'm doing. But quite a unique idea. People back then in the Spectrum games, they're trying to be different. And yeah, that's a little bit something different for this game. So that's Joe Blade 2 on the Spectrum. Now, Retro Red Steve put me onto this one, and it's a great game, I think, because I'm a big fan of Through the Wall games. Arkanoid is right up there, my top games. But this one, on the PS1, Sorcerer's Maze, I'll show you a little bit of footage, but Retro Red Steve out there, I put a link, whenever I mention a YouTuber, I'll put their link down below, but he's a great YouTuber. But he put me onto this, and I remember seeing it in one of his videos, and I'm really enjoying it. Now, I don't know exactly what I'm doing yet. Obviously, the Through the Wall bit I know, but I think you can use magic, I think. But, classic me, I just whacked it on and started playing without actually reading instructions. But, yeah, Sorcerer's Mage, thanks for that one, Steve. Really, really enjoy that game. And now to the Xbox. These are obviously quite old games. Anyone who's watched my channel before, it's mainly the older consoles and home computers that I like playing. But this game I found out about on the Xbox original is a game called Obscure. Showing you a bit of footage here again, and it's sort of like a teenage Buffy type, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's sort of aimed at that sort of feel with American students, and it's a bit of a Resident Evil horror game. This one, apparently one student's gone missing some years before, and a gang of people trying to find out what happened. But yeah, that's a little look at Obscure. If you've got any thoughts on any of these games, let me know, because a lot of people say this is a bit of a hidden gem, and it was reasonably expensive. I think it was about 25 quid or something, but I thought, because I love me Resident Evil, I thought I'll give that a go. So that one is obscure, which is quite good. Now, next one, I'm really lucky to have this. I was given this quite a few years ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago. But I was given the Game Boy Player for my GameCube, my Nintendo GameCube. And I was so lucky to be given this, because this is quite a pickup now. I think it's quite expensive. Obviously, if you don't know, it's just a way of playing Game Boy games on your GameCube. And, you know, I'm quite a little sneaky fan of SpongeBob. My son loves SpongeBob, and it's one of those cartoons that actually, once you start watching it, and it's not just for kids, it's not really something like Ren and Stimpy, which was aimed at adults, but SpongeBob will give you a good laugh. And I thought, you know, and to try all this out, I picked this up, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie for the Game Boy Advance, because they'll work fine on this player through the GameCube. So there's a little bit of footage, and it's a really fun game. You know, that's what it's about, isn't it? These sort of games that are made for kids. And I never knock games that are deliberately made for kids, because some of the games aimed at the younger generation are some of the best games you'll come across. You know, some of them, the thought that's gone into them are really good. So there's some footage of the SpongeBob SquarePants movie on the Game Boy Advance through my GameCube. So we're getting there, and got a PS3 pickup. Now, I know a lot of the people I subscribe to, a lot of you are into the sort of wrestling fighting games, so it's not really my cup of tea. But at my local charity shop, not so long ago, maybe a few months ago, oh, by the way, Subliminal VCI, I put a nice video about picking up stuff at charity shops that I'll put a link to below. But I absolutely love charity shop hunting. My best find ever is Cooler World on a PS1. I found that at my local charity shop. I couldn't believe it. Now, the key to charity shop hunting, if you have them near you, is you go regularly, because you never know, you know, someone brought something in the day before, you might be the first to see it and pick it up. But yeah, so I got Cooler World. I think that's about 50 or 60 pounds. I got it for about £3 or something, so I was well happy. But I picked up this one. I'm going to show a bit of footage. SmackDown versus Raw 2008 wrestling game. Not really my cup of tea, but showing a bit of footage there. But yeah, do you know, really quite great fun. And I'm thinking, yeah, I might actually get a great bit of fun playing this. So I could see my son having a go at this with me. But and now forgive me, wrestling fans and gaming fans, but is it Tom Senna or Kenna? God, I know I sound like an idiot there, but I really don't know anything about wrestling. But going back to Liverpool Comic Con, he was there, and I didn't realise. He's obviously a big star in wrestling, because there was a lot of people. He was expensive I think for a photograph, he was about, I don't know, between 75 and 100 quid just for your photo. And if you wanted to meet him briefly for an autograph, you'd pay that again. So he's obviously big, well-known person among the wrestling thing. But, you know, naive to me, but yeah, I feel bad of not knowing about that. But there you go. But that's SmackDown versus Raw 2008. Let me know, because I know some of the people have subscribed to my channel, big into the fighting wrestling games, etc. So let me know. I don't know whether that's a good one or not so good, but yeah, I was quite happy to pick it up. Now this one I haven't got any footage of. I picked it up the same day I picked up the wrestling one, but it's PS4 Drive Club Special Edition. Now it's obviously a car game. Now I was having trouble with my internet earlier, and it was being really slow. You know, sometimes it bloody does my head in internet speed sometimes, but it was a real struggle. And I put this in, and it wanted to load it and put an update, and it was telling me 9 or 10 hours. And at the time, I just didn't have the time to sort of leave it there for it to do. So I've not actually played this, but I've had a quick look at some reviews, and it sounds like quite a nice game. Now, again, like the wrestling, I know a lot of people subscribe to my channel, and I really appreciate people who subscribe to the channel are into driving games. And lately, because of watching other people on YouTube, I started getting more of a liking for driving games. I'm giving them a bit more time. And so let me know what this one is like. Drive Club Special Edition. Now, let me know. I don't have any clue. As I say, I've not even put it into my PS4 properly yet. So, yeah, so there's my pickups. A little bit of Liverpool Comic Con, which I had great fun. If you've never been to one, consider going. But just remember, if you're going to go, that they're pretty crazy. Like, there's a lot of people, and people are sort of running around, milling around, trying to get to their photo queue, find out where it is. Now, I remember before I ever went, I went on YouTube just finding out about how you go about it when you go there, and loads of guys and people and were saying, just make sure you got plenty of water, deodorant spray, and a bag to carry anything you buy. And God, were they right? It's blooming manic. But when you know, I always think forearmed, you know, forewarned is forearmed, if you like. When you know what you're going to expect, you're ready, aren't you? But I loved them. We had a great time at Liverpool Comic Con. So that's today's video. A few pickups and a catch up about Liverpool Comic Con. The one thing I really was unfortunate about was the Crash computer event was on the same weekend. Tetley, I know, another great YouTuber, he went, and I was really hoping to go, but it just clashed because we'd already booked these tickets for the Comic Con way before. It just turned out to be the same weekend, so I'm really hoping, you know, health all good and everything, etc. Be there next year, because I've been looking at a few things about it on YouTube. It looks a great day, you know. I'd absolutely love chatting to people and about ZX Spectrum stuff, and even talking to some programmers of the games. It would be absolutely brilliant. So really unfortunate I couldn't go, you know, but that's life, isn't it, really? But yeah, that's the video for today. I'm going to do a video on Commodore 64. I've got some fighting games that I've come across, sort of martial art type games, and I've picked up and been given about 5 of them. So I'm going to play them this week, and I'm going to do a little video, hopefully for next weekend, just talking about those games on a Commodore 64. I'm a big fan of the Commodore 64. No rivalry for me between the ZX Spectrum and Commodore 64. They're both great, so I'll be doing that video hopefully next weekend. Anyway, look after yourselves out there. Like and subscribe if you like the content, and I'll be doing another video, as I say, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.